Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. In today's video we're going to be carrying on with this page from Rita Berman. So what we're going to do is go ahead and do these little tiny pictures that are in the background. So we're going to start with this aeroplane up here, so I'll go ahead and zoom you in and we'll get started. So first, going in with periwinkle blue, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the little windows on the plane because I want these to be like see-through. Next, going in with cream, I'm going to go ahead and do a base coat on the whole of the aeroplane because I want this to be like a whitey yellowy kind of aeroplane, like the normal colours that you would see. So I don't know if you guys will be able to see this on camera, but it is just a nice cream colour. And we'll go ahead and add some shade into this as well, just to brighten it up a little bit. So for shading, we're going to use apricot, and we're going to go ahead and add a bit of shade into this. So I'm going to start by shading underneath this section here, so all the underneath of this bit. Make this a little bit darker. Then we're going to add some shade to the wings, so I'm going to shade the back section and just lift the pressure as you come towards the front. So I'll do the same for this one. And then we'll go ahead and add a little bit of shade just here where that wing would be causing a bit of a shadow, and a little bit to the top edge here. Then going in with lemon yellow, I'm going to make it look like there's a bit of a glow from this picture here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of this lemon yellow here to the bottom edge of this plane. And I'm going to take it over where we added the shade colour, just to give it a little bit of a yellow glow so it looks like it's catching the light from that picture. And then going in with a Posca pen, I'm just going to go ahead and add just a little tiny reflection on each of these windows, just so it looks like there is a little bit of a reflection going on. So I'm just literally adding a dot to each of them. And that's our first little one done. So next we're going to move on to this one here. So it almost reminds me of like a compass. So I want to do this in silver and gold. So I've got the silver and the gold pencils. So these come in the Arteza 120 set. But if you don't have these, you could just use a gold and silver gel pen instead. So I'm going to go in with the gold first, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in the center because I want that bit to be gold. And then I'm going to fill in 1/2 of each of these little sort of spikes coming off from the center. So I'm just going to fill in the left hand side on all of them. And I'm just using normal pressure here. And then taking the silver, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the opposite side. So this is a metallic pencil, so it should give it a little bit of a shine as well. I must admit I don't use these very often, but I thought for this we would try it out and see what result we get. Then for the background, I'm going to go in with periwinkle blue and fill in the background with this colour. So I'm just going to use normal pressure and go ahead and fill this in completely. And then for this edge section, I'm going to go ahead and use the gold and silver again, and I'm going to do every other one in the gold, and then we'll fill the rest in with the silver, just so it ties it all together and it really matches. So I want to say a big thank you to everybody that's been watching this colour along so far, and I hope that you are enjoying it. We've got a few left to go yet, so if you're getting bored of the process, let me know and I can always switch it up and do a different video for you guys. I just added my completed pages for last month, so if you want to check that out as well, that's now up and on my channel, so you guys can see that. And then going in with the silver, we're going to go ahead and fill in the missing or the leftover little squares. Okay, and then going in with our Posca pen, I'm going to go over some of the lines in here, I think to try and brighten it up a little bit maybe. So what I'm going to do is just do these outside edges. And I'm going to leave the centre bit black just so that that stands out a little bit better. So just the edges are sort of brought forwards a little bit. So next we're going to move on to this car and caravan. So I think I'm going to do the caravan pink. So I'm going to go in with pink macaroon first and go ahead and do a base coat on this. So this is quite a light pink colour, almost like a pastel-y shade. And then going in with watermelon pink, we're going to add some shadow to this. So what I want to do is add a little bit of shadow here next to the door. So I'm just going to darken up this little section here. And then I'm going to darken up the opposite side. And just lift the pressure as you come towards the middle. Leave a little patch of light in the middle. So I'll do the same over here. So again, I'm going to darken up the edges. And then lift the pressure as you come towards the middle. I'm going to add a little bit of shade around this little window. And then at the back of the door. Then I'm going to go back in with periwinkle blue and fill in this little window here. And this window on the door. This window looks like it's already got a reflection drawn in, so that's quite handy. So we'll go ahead and fill this in. And we'll add in our reflections after. Okay, going back to watermelon pink, I'm just going to go ahead and darken up this whole line across here because I want this to be a little bit darker. And I'm going to go ahead and do the door frame in this colour as well. And then I'm going to go back in with pink macaroon and just go ahead and blend everything together. So I'm going to take it over the darker pink as well as the lighter pink, and just add a bit more pressure to darken this up and make it all blend together nicely. Next I'm going to go in with fuchsia, and I'm just going to add a little bit of darker colour just to the very edges here, just to really darken up the shadow. And we'll do the same over here. And just around the windows as well, just to make that stand out a little bit better. And then I'm going to go back in with my Posca pen and go ahead and add the reflections into the doors. So I'm just doing some little slanted lines on here just to make it look like it's got a little reflection. And in here, Rita's already drawn in the reflection, so I'm just going to go over the lines that Rita's put in. Next, taking Sapphire Blue 505, we're going to make a start on the little car. Zoom you in a little bit more because he's a little bit smaller. So I'm going to do a base coat first with this colour. And then we'll use Periwinkle Blue to fill in the windows again. So I'm just going to fill these in now. And then for our shadow colour, I've chosen Ultramarine Blue. So this is quite a dark blue colour. So I'm going to go ahead and use this to add in some dimension to the car. So I'm going to go ahead and darken up here on these little wheel trims. And the same for this back one. Darken up this bottom edge as well. And then we'll add some shadow here where we've got the line across the car. And then take it down this side to add a bit of shade here. We'll add some underneath this window and just around the back edge of the window. And again, the back edge and the bottom of the window for this one. Just do a little bit of darkness here on the back of the car, where it would be a little bit darker. And then I'm going to go back in with Sapphire Blue and go ahead and fill this in and see how it's looking. Okay, we're going to use the same colours that we used for the car to do this little back spare tyre on the caravan. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a base coat with the Sapphire Blue. And then going in with Ultramarine Blue, we're going to add some shade. So I'm going to shade where it meets the caravan and just along the top edge here. And then I'll fill this little bit in completely dark at the front. Then going back in with Sapphire Blue, blend this all together. I think we'll use Ultramarine Blue to do this little front bumper as well, so it all matches. And then we'll fill in the center part of the wheel with this as well. And we'll do the same for the caravan. Then I'm going to go in with Dolphin Grey, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in the tyres. And then using Ash Black, I'm going to add a little bit of shade to these. So for this one on the caravan, I'm going to shade by the caravan because it would cast a shadow on the tyre. And we'll do the same for, excuse me, we'll do the same for the car. So I'll just sort of darken up the top half of these tyres. And then going in with Tuscan Sun, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the little lights on the front and the back of the car. And then I'm going to use my Posca pen to go ahead and do the reflections on the windows. Okay, going in with orange, I'm going to make a start on this luggage that we've got. So the first one here, I'm going to do orange. I actually thought that was some kind of luggage, but it's not. It's the roof rack, so I'll leave that one. Then I'm going to go in with fuchsia and fill in the next one. And then using flamingo pink, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the top bag. And these are so small, I don't think I'm going to do any shading to them. I'm just going to leave them as they are. Just touch up this little bit here where I missed a bit of orange. And that's our little car and caravan done. Okay, so next we're going to move on to this little one here, and we're going to make a start on this map. And what I want to do is make it look like it's on old paper. So I'm going to go in with peaches and cream and do a base coat on this paper here. Next, taking absinthe green, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the little land sections on the map. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and fill these in with light pressure so we can get the colour down and see what we're working with and how it's looking. Then going in with moss green, I'm going to darken up just around the edges of this. So I just want the edges to be a little bit darker so that the middle stands out a little bit better. So I'm literally just going to go around the edge and add some of this moss green colour in. And then just sort of lift the pressure to blend it out as it comes towards the middle. Okay, and then going back in with absinthe green, I'm going to go ahead and darken this up and blend these two colours together. Okay, next going in with marmalade orange, we're going to start to darken up the paper itself. So I'm going to start by darkening up the edges because this would be where it would be darker. So I'm just going to run normal pressure all the way along the edges of this paper. And then what I'm going to do is run it along where the crease lines are as well, to darken that up a little bit. And now I'm just going to lift the pressure and just go round and slightly blend this colour out all the way around so we don't get any harsh lines where the colours stop. I'll just fill this little corner in completely because that's all quite small. And then I'll just go back over that with peaches and cream. So just where we've left the lighter pressure. And then for these two, I'm just going to lift the pressure. So I'm going to add a tiny bit more colour, but not as much because I want these ones to be a little bit lighter. Next, taking coral, we're going to make a start on these headphones. So what I'm going to do is do a base coat on these. So I want this part here to be bright and colourful. And also I want the head strap to be quite bright as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do light pressure and just fill in a base coat on this. Then taking blood orange, that's what I'm going to use to shade. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of a shadow here, where this would cast a bit of a shadow onto the headset, and again here on this little join. We'll go ahead and darken up the bottom section of the headset where it meets the earpiece. So we'll do the same for this side, so darken up down here. We'll add some shadow back here and some shadow down this edge too. And then I'm going to go back in with coral and blend this all together. I actually really like this coral colour. I don't use it enough in my colouring. It's so pretty. So we'll go ahead and fill in the little wire with the coral as well. And then I'm going to use hazelnut brown to fill in these sections here. So I'm going to do more pressure on the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to do light pressure in the middle. Do the same for this side. Then going in with our white pencil, I'm just going to go ahead and lighten that middle section up and blend everything together. Okay, next we're going to move on to the camera. So I'm going to go in with periwinkle blue and fill in the lens section of the camera. Then taking plum purple, I'm going to go ahead and fill in all these little buttons on the camera. So this circle one here and this little one on the edge. One up here. This one here. Another one here. And we'll do the top one as well. So just use normal pressure just to fill them all in. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill in this inside portion of the lens there. Then taking UBE purple, I'm going to go ahead and do some colour on the camera itself. So I'm just going to use light pressure and just add a base coat down first so I can see how it's looking. Then going in with amethyst purple, I'm going to go ahead and add some shade to this. So I want to darken up the corners and just sort of run this along the edges. I'll do the same here, but I'm not going to take it up as far on this side. I'm going to pull this all the way along the bottom. I'm going to add some here. And then I'm going to darken up around the lens. And darken up this top edge here too. And then just lift the pressure to blend out anywhere that you've added the darker colour, and then it'll just blend in to the other colour a bit easier. I'm going to add a little bit of this onto this lens as well, so just right on the inside. Then going back in with UBE purple, we're going to go ahead and blend this all together. And then I'm just going to go back in with amethyst and just add some shade to this side of the lens as well, because it's kind of blending in and it's not standing out that much. So I'm just going to pull that all the way round, just so that it really makes this lens look like it is standing forwards. And then I'm going to go in with watermelon pink, and I'm going to go ahead and start to fill in the background. So this little section up here, I'm just going to use normal pressure and just fill in this edge bit completely. And then I'm just going to use light pressure and add this colour all over the background. And then going in with fuchsia, we're going to use this to add some shade to make the object stand out. So what I'm going to do is use normal pressure close up to the object and then lift the pressure as you come away, just to blend it out a little bit easier. And I'm just going to literally go along all the way underneath this map and add a bit of a shadow. And then just lift the pressure to blend this out. Do the same underneath the camera, so I'm just going to use normal pressure and take it up a little bit around that side edge, and then just lift the pressure to blend this out. And then again, we'll go right up and under these headphones. Add a little bit to this back section. And then going back in with watermelon pink, I'm going to go ahead and use normal pressure and get this all filled in. I'm going to go in with the white Posca and just add a few little white dots to the background, just to break up the colour so it's not all one colour or two colours. I quite like the effect that it gives, so I'll add some little ones and I'll do some bigger ones in some places as well, just randomly, no rhyme or reason. And it just brightens up the whole picture a little bit better. Okay guys, so we've got this little one left up here, this little seaside scene. So let's go ahead and get started on this one. So I'm going to go in with Tuscan Sun and go ahead and fill in the sunshine. This is quite like an orangey yellow, so it's perfect for the sunshine. And I'm just going to take it over these little rays as well. Next, going in with Honey 105, I'm going to make a start on the sand. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the sand with this colour. So I'm not going to use hard pressure because I want to be able to add some shadows into this as well. So just use light pressure here. Then using Camel Brown, I'm going to add the shade in. So I'm just going to go ahead and shade underneath these little objects that we've got here. So underneath the ball and this little bucket, underneath the chair, because the chair would cast a little bit of a shadow. We'll go ahead and darken up this section here as well. Okay, I think that's enough. So we'll go back in with honey and just use a bit more pressure here and fill this in and take it over the Camel Brown to blend it together. Okay, and then for this sea, we're going to use Shamrock Green because I'm going to make it like a turquoisey kind of sea. So I'm going to go ahead and do light pressure on this and fill this bit in so that we know where the sea is going to be and where it finishes. So we can see here it comes up a lot higher on this side. So go ahead and fill that in and then try and make it even. Then going in with deep teal, we're going to add a little bit of shade to the water. So I'm going to start by darkening up the two side edges. And then just lift the pressure to blend this in towards the middle. We'll go ahead and add a little bit of shade in here. And then we'll darken up this little section here and this top section. Go ahead and use this all under the umbrella as well, because it's normally darker the further out to sea it gets and then a bit lighter as you come in towards the shoreline. So we'll go back in with Shamrock Green now and just go ahead and blend this all together and fill it in properly. And seeing as though I said I don't use coral enough, we're going to go in with coral, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in this little beach ball here. So that's nice and orangey pinky. And then I'm going to use flamingo pink to fill in the little bucket and spade, but just the bucket and the handle. I'll do the top rim in the same colour. And then for the inside part, I'm going to use fuchsia, so that's just a little bit darker as it goes inside. Then for our deck chair, I'm going to use sapphire blue, and I'm going to make it like a blue and white striped deck chair. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the top section in the sapphire blue. And then I'll miss one and fill in the next section. So I'm just using normal pressure for this and just filling it in. And then we'll use this to fill in its legs as well, just so that they really stand out. Then for these white sections, I'm going to go in with cream and just add a little bit of colour to them so that they don't look white. I'm going to use plum purple to fill in this little starfish here on the sea. I'm guessing that's what it's meant to be. Nice little star there. For the birds, I'm going to use hazelnut brown and just go ahead and fill these in. Okay, for the sky, I'm going to use peacock blue, and I'm just going to go in with light pressure and just add a little bit of this colour down so that we can see how it looks. So I'm not sure if I want to do it all blue or if I want to add some other colours into it. I'm going to take honey and just go over the blue here with honey, just to give it a little bit like more shine from the sun. And then just lift the pressure as you come away to blend that out. Then I'm going to go back in with peacock blue and add another layer. I'm still not using hard pressure, I'm just adding a bit more colour. quite like that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start darkening this up a bit more. And then I'm going to go back in with deep teal and go ahead and fill in this section here where the water is. And then I'll go ahead and use honey to fill in this bit so it matches the sand that we've done. And deep teal for this little bit in here. And then I'll just go in with camel brown and just add a little bit of shade around the edge. Okay, next I'm going to go in with flamingo pink, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in one section of this umbrella. So I'm going to make it look like a rainbow umbrella so it's nice and bright. So just the normal orange colour. We're going to go and fill in the next section. Then taking lemon yellow, I'm going to fill in the next one. Absinthe green for this one. You always see lovely, bright, colourful things at the beach, so I thought we'd do this rainbow. We'll use sapphire blue for the blue section. And we'll go in with absinthe purple for the last one. Next I'm going to use periwinkle blue, and I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of blue to these bubbles that the fish is blowing out. And then I'm going to make the fish a rainbow fish so it matches the top of the umbrella. So I'm going to go in with amethyst purple and fill in his tail section first. So it's like opposite to what we've just done. So now I'll use sapphire blue for this first little section. Amethyst green for this section. Lemon yellow for this section. Orange for this one. Flamingo pink. And then we'll use amethyst to do the face because we've gone all the way back round to the beginning. And then I'm going to use the green colour, amethyst green, to fill in his little fins. Okay, so next we're going to go in with our Posca pen and we're going to start adding some highlights. So I'm going to add a little highlight here. So just on this edge of each section of the umbrella, because this is the way that the sun is coming. So I'm just going to add these in, just to make it look like it's got a little bit of a shine to it. We'll go ahead and outline the sun so that doesn't look as obvious. Just go over its little rays. Then I'm going to go over the cloud that Rita's put in here. And I'm going to go over where the sea meets the sky, just to break that up a little bit. And I'll go over this little breaking wave here. And then we'll go over where the sea meets the sand and add like a little bit of sea foam on there. And then I'm just going to use this to add in some clouds. So I'm just going to make sort of like little triangle shapes, and they get thinner as they come out towards the end. And you can do them whatever shape that you guys want to do. I just like to add a little bit of cloud into the sky, just so it breaks up all of the blue. We'll add one up here as well. And then we'll add a little highlight to our fish. Just run it along his body. Okay, you guys, so that's all the main sections done on this page now. So what we'll do next time is start on this page. So I've got a few little details to do here, like there's some tiny little bits in the background, but what I'll do is I'll do them when we actually do the background. So next video, I'll go ahead and make a start on these circles and we'll start filling these in. And once they're all finished, we'll do the background all together so that it all matches on both sides. So that's all I'm going to do for today, but I hope you enjoyed this video and the little tiny colour alongs that we've done. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.